Million to power million. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, April 2nd, 2022, Saturday 3:19 AM. मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज दिनांक अप्रैल 2 2022 शनिवार सुबह के 3:20। Title, as usual, it starts from real quality and goes to what we are. And in between lies many subjects or sub-subjects, or you can say issues, that is coordination, engineering, projects, works, reliable engineers, power of communication, concrete specifications, civil engineering involved, contracts, safety, health, environment, designs, methods, disputed claims, and of course, parties. This is what is about this, and I continue now viewing status. Of course, signals are not very good, but let us see what happens. And going before that, I'll introduce myself again. This is my email ID, suraj underscore engineer ENGINEER at yahoo.co.uk, and my address is given below. Of course, my identity is very simple, very small person, chartered engineer India and international professional engineer India. I'm not high profile, just ordinary engineer, and this is my certification, that is International Professional Engineer India in field of civil engineering, and validity of this certificate is up to September 30th, 2025, because this certificate remains valid only for 5 years and it has to be renewed every 5 years. Then it is Chartered Engineer Certificate, and I am attached to Civil Engineering Division of Institution of Engineers, and this certificate means you must be a corporate member, and I am that corporate member. Here you can see fellow FIE, which I have written here itself, FIE, and then we go to quality file and coordination file, which have been prepared for reference to you for deliberations. And first let me close this file, and let me close this file as well, so I can open concrete specifications file, which is very relevant. This is by chance Japan society specifications for concrete, which I am referring to you during these talks every day, until I think it's better to be clear about this, and that's a very important point we can say. And concrete production I was talking about yesterday. Now let me go back and see what actually I'm talking of. I'm talking of real quality and real coordination. Quality we consider as a part of life, as part of product, everything. Quality cannot be taken in isolation. No one can take it in isolation. If we take in isolation, then I can't say I'm a professional. Quality is an integrated part of everything. I think that's right way. If we separately means we make ourselves, you can say, fool. In profession, it can't be permitted. In life, it may be permitted depending on the class of people you are. If you can afford, you can have it. If you don't want to afford, you can't afford, then don't have. The sections of society, some people live good life, some people live below poverty line, some people live on poverty line, some are above poverty line. So we can say that in life, real life, quality cannot be maintained by everybody. It can be maintained in a way one has what level of economy, what level of circle, what level of society, what's your earning capacity. And there are so many issues, but even then, you can say minimum level of quality is that at least you should have food, you should have some clothing, and you should have some shelter, maybe rented one. And that is minimum requirement at least to live. Food, clothes, and some cover over under which you can live. That is called minimum requirement of quality. And if we can't have that requirement, it's then very difficult to define how to live. He means I'm referring it to life because quality of life can be defined in many ways. But if we don't have quality of life, then our progress quality also is impacted upon. Impacted means generally when we use impact means it is in a sense of adversity. It's not positive, but somewhere we lose something. That's what impacted upon. If my life is impacted upon, it may be due to I don't have money, or it may be due to I don't have education, I don't have profession, I don't have occupation, I don't have experience, I don't have. All these keep me busy if I have, and if I don't have, then I can do anything. My mind is there. I'm a product, for example. I'm a product. I am taking myself a product, and everybody is a product, of course, not manufactured by industrialists. It's manufactured by that industrialist, that manufacturing organization which is named superpower, supreme power, God, you can say, whatever, by whatever name you can call it. That's not my headache. I consider that power. I am delivered by that power through physical body. I was delivered, everybody is delivered, but I would be taken back within this physical body I came in. This physical body shall be isolated, body part shall remain here, and its electrical current will go up. That's what you can say commencement of life and end of life. When a machine that is warm delivers body its love, the birth, and when its electric current is taken out, which is called saw, means it's called expiration, or can we have left it? One has left it. In this period, life lies, and that life, what sort of level it should have, everybody knows. That you are enjoying life or you are just not enjoying life. If you are enjoying life, what level of quality of life you are having? We define it quality of life. And quality of life means it's normal, it's below normal, it's above normal, or it's abnormal, or it's, you can say, happiness or sadness. It's, you can say, all these points are considered how much progress we can do. Life requires knowledge, life requires food, life requires education, life requires science, life requires thinking, life requires analysis, life requires understanding of problem, life requires solutions, life requires application of solutions, and life requires we have to use earth for our development, we have to use sun for our development, we have to use air for our development, and likewise we have to use this universe for our development. So it's beyond human control to use universe, or though we use it indirectly by blessings of that supreme power God, because we get solar energy which is beyond our control. If sun doesn't exist, we get rain which is also beyond our control. Absolutely, you see, we can't control it. And same with skies, we can't control it. So much product is available, devised by nature for us, that we should keep in mind. Nobody can say we don't have. God has given us everything. We have to respect that. And if we can't respect that, then we can't respect anyone. And that point is really, you can say, surprising to me. When I think about this, you see, thinking is part of life, and if you do not think, if I don't think, then I can say that I don't use my machine, I don't use my mind. It's duty of everybody to think. And people think also, I can't say don't think, but there's a level of thinking. Some people just to think. It's, for example, like this, that I'm living, I have to live for what? I have to live for survival. What survival? First is survival of a body. And survival of this body means I must have food, I must have clothes, and that's it. Otherwise, if I have that, then I'll move further. For example, education. Every child must have education. Education means a program that feeds your mind. a program that feeds mind, and that's called education. If I don't have education, my mind won't work. It will work only by observation. It will not work by using knowledge that is fed into this. And that's what we go to schools, we go to universities for programming that. And that program is permanent and it's used throughout life. And that's called what level of quality you have. Can you think how much you can do? You can think only if you have that knowledge. And using that knowledge and of course using your experience, you can further modify it. And that's why I say quality. What level of quality one has. We say people as person is thinker, person is not thinker. How one can be thinker? And that's another point. How can one be thinker? One can be thinker only this way. If you can think and think and think, is a continuation of thinking is called thinker. If instantly you think, okay, I think this time, 1 minute I think and then forget, I don't care for why should I unnecessarily take a stress, and that's called non-thinking. You stop thinking after some time. So your thinking absolutely could not work. If you go on thinking and it may call continuous thinking, and then you may say, okay, this concentration level reaches that you have intensively thought of and you have gathered certain information from yourself by and having from external sources itself. Because okay, this is my level of thinking, and that's why I say real quality and also coordination, which is I mean to say, which is subject of this is as a real quality or real coordination, which we must have wherever you belong to. I'm now I'm India. I'm Bharatwasi. I'm president and citizen of this country. So it's my first right to speak about this country. Nobody can say no. You don't. Though I can think about whole world. That's no problem, because first I'm citizen. I'm resident of this world until I am in this body. I leave this body, and that's it. Okay, I left it. And of course, I belong to the geographical part of this earth. This is Bharat, India, and I own responsibility to improve this part. Of course, I have basic responsibility to improve the world. If I improve this part, of course, it's a part of world. So it depends on every country. So why say I have to improve this world, and that's called quality. And improving this world means improving our work. Whatever work we do in our life, it is for something. Ultimately, it is for development of earth. And particularly when we develop civil engineering, to which I belong. Civil engineering means a field where permanent development is done, and permanent means whatever work we do, it's meant for many decades. Even we build roads, at least for 1 decade it should work. Though it may not work, there will be problems. I'm not stating that, but it's assumed that at least for 10 years it should work. Same way when we construct building, we think at least for 100 years it should work. If not 50, 100 years, 200 years, though at least 50 to 100 is a criteria. This means we are very small people. We are very small souls. We think only for 150 years. Think of that power who built this earth, who produced this earth, and this has been there for many millenniums, you can say. Nobody can define, and there's no longevity. Nobody can prove it. So that product, if we talk of earth as a product, it becomes very big issue. Earth, so yes, it's a product, but who delivered? We do not know. So see system of quality that is working around. Earth is a part of a solar system, and solar system itself is one system, and there science says that there are many such systems, and how many I don't know, you don't know. But we can just observe. Every day we look at stars and we enjoy, oh, so many stars are in the sky, and twinkle little star. We don't know so much for what's our relation to stars. That I means when I have relation to sun, because I obtain sunlight. I have relation to air, okay, it's a part of solar system, but sun is also a part of system, and that's of course sun is king of all these planets. We get direct information from this. We get direct wealth from this, and that's in form of sunlight. We get the sun rays, sunlight for our health, for our food, and for these plants, and of course in combination with air, water, and sunlight and soil, we say that our life moves, we get food, we get crops, we get weeds, we get vegetable, we get everything, and our body is built up. This means there is a feedback, there is a delivery, and that delivery is beyond human control. We can't control sun, we can't control skies, we can't control air, we can't control water, we can't control anything. But we have been living. So why don't we think that way, that there is some system working, and we know system, but who is operating that system? That is a big question mark. Of course, no one can give evidence, but feeling is there. Observation is there. When observation is there, I can say feeling is not there in that case, but we can feel otherwise. There's indeed, we cannot say system is not working, system is working. It's working in a way it should. There's complete science behind that. There's complete engineering behind that. We can observe that, and we can understand by observation. And understanding by observation, that's called, if you understand that, it's called science. And then engineering is beyond our control till now. Science exists. We know science is there. We know we have studied system, but how to amend that system, how to modify that system, still this is beyond reach of engineering on earth. Engineering on earth is just very, very limited. We cannot say we can do something, and that's the reason why I'm saying, I'm talking of real quality, and this is real quality of nature. Nature tells us what is material, what is quantity, what is quality, what is problem, what is solution, what is equilibrium, what is dynamism. All these nature tells us, and existence of solar system, existence of this itself is a proof. When I think there are stars, why star? What's the direct relation of stars with human being? We don't have any direct relations. If there are no stars, we shall live. This means there's something is there which can see. My eyes can see that. Body's eyes are so powerful, body's minds are so powerful. We can't measure my eyes, I can't measure what's functioning strength of my eye, how much it can function. We can't measure, and we can't measure mind's functions also. This means we have immense potential within our minds, within our bodies. Everybody has got immense potential, but we never realize that, because we only think in terms of external supports, external facilities like money, like resources or sources within earth. We don't go beyond that. Many times I think and I speak and write, okay, if we are so strong in science, if we are so strong in engineering, just like earth is available, why don't you make one earth and star? Can we make it? It's a big question mark. It's a question. It's something that we only imagine, we only dream. And can dreams come true in this way? Think of that power. There must be some engineer or there is a professional who has constructed this earth, who has constructed solar system. What sort of professional that should be, and that's beyond imagination. We are professionals only on surface of earth, not otherwise. I'm not a professional to go to next planet or to go to space and work. I'm not a professional to go within this solid part of earth or within the sea water part of earth and find something or construct something. If I think I have to construct some room, at least one room I want to construct that lies below ground 1 or 2 kilometers, is it possible? I would say no, it's not possible, because it's not possible to go beyond and hope and excavate this much and go there. How shall we make root of that? That's what my point is. Even for a small building, we construct just 1 meter down, 2 meter down foundation, and it's hard working. And then if you go high rise, you can say tower. You can say, okay, we have to do piling up to 50 meter or 100 meter, or we have to do some other work or some other type of foundation. Means that we study, we research, but we can make such buildings, and buildings are available, thousands and thousands, and buildings are available everywhere. And we scientists and engineers jointly did that. I call scientists, because science is engineering, is also science, and science is also engineering. Both are there, and without that, so that's what I'm saying. Quality is a very different material. We cannot miss this, and if we miss this, we miss ourselves. So quality can't be missed. It's a question. We should not say we can do it. It's very difficult. Signals are down, and that's a problem always. No problem, I'll continue. Let us see, it depends how means quality is a question. So here also question of quality. That question remains that's why I'm saying just 20 minutes and I'm again concerned about signals. It happens. That's why, my dear friends, I'm very much serious about this issue. I don't know, maybe, I don't know why I'm serious. I really can't answer this, so I'm not going to get any money out of this. I'm not going to get any benefit. Yet, only benefit is I feel happy. I'm disseminating my mind. I'm sharing what my mind thinks, what do I think. It's just sharing that, you can say, it's just sharing that it is really good, real quality and real coordination. Bharat India speaks about, I'm calling Bharat India speaks about because I'm from Bharat India, and certainly it's useful, it's good. Bharat India speaks about real quality and real coordination. When I get up for real quality, when I get up for real level coordination, you really can say real quality and real coordination. We get up for real quality, and that's what I say. Everyone should stop sleeping in our country and also everywhere, because the quality varies. Some people give quality in this country also. I can't say that everybody is bad. Same way in other countries too. Quality has to be defined properly in for every product, whatever we do, for every work we do. Quality should be defined properly, and if we define quality properly, of course it's question mark. Everyone stop sleeping in hours. Everyone stop sleeping in hours. Quality and coordination, and you can say these should be my friends. I have to befriend them, otherwise we cannot say anything. And these two are I call them domains, though there is no quality and coordination subject. There is nothing as such. And really, I feel surprised sometimes when I search for it. I really am very much surprised on this issue. Why these are missing? In fact, why are these issues missing from world? Just notice. That's what I'm thinking. Political coordination. I'm very surprised to see that I'm not finding much support from internet also. I thought internet is full of information, but as far as quality and coordination is concerned, I think quality is concerned, there's nothing much there's not much information is available. This means these experts do not work. I can say this dearth of experts on quality and coordination. There may be experts on quality system, but that's not much important as far as quality is concerned, because requirement of quality system means requirement of quality system is because quality is missing, and that's why quality is to be procured. Quality is to be produced, and quality cannot be produced by system itself. Quality is to be produced by additional efforts. What work we do, whatever work we do, I'm not saying engineering work, whatever work, it should be quality oriented. Those people who are involved, those personal workers, they should do work according to quality. And if we don't do that, then what to do? What about demand of quality? What about demand of coordination? Coordination is a part of quality, because coordination means to deal with whatever is involved in work. Coordination means you have to move whatever is required in work together. Whatever information I have, whatever information I don't have, I have to arrange that information which I don't have. And if I don't arrange that, how can I move? Means every part of information required, every information required for whatever work must be available. Otherwise, how can we move? We can't move. And that's what that's important here is. We have to understand this point. Everything is important, and we have to understand that importation is very important. We call it import, so I should not say importation, but we can say that requirement. Sometimes people use words, and I am also using same type of word. People read all that. We must have reliable coordination. Coordination means not just coordination, but reliable one. Means linked one, which is referable. Whatever work I do, I should know what information I must have before doing work or during that work. If I miss something immediately, I should get that. That information should be available somewhere. If I don't have that information, in that case, I should have at least known resource. I should know that. Which resource is that? From where can I get this? When we do engineering design, we have some issues. We know what design it is, what its requirement. We conduct analysis of forces, what forces come, then we find what's formula. And if you don't have formula, we try to search where it is available. It's available in books or it's available somewhere else. So I had done this in that project and I can search out. Likewise, or we apply our minds. So what can we do? How can we arrange this force? We can find what's magnitude or value of this force and how it applies. And that's this also information, technical information, engineering information, or product information. Whatever is what's conduct of this product, what's performance of this product, how shall this product behave now, how does it behave now, how shall it behave in future, and that's also information. Or you can say how to, we have complete information and we have maybe 10 information required for one work, and we have to sequence up this information, or we have to string up those informations so that this can be applied properly. And that's really important point. This information be applied. If we can apply that information properly, we can say yes, this is what is complete process of design. Or you can say design within design. This is process of coordination, and it's not only in design, it also applies in work on site. This is information, this is coordination of information, and we have to see that on site it is done. And because in site we have to work, that is called delivery. We work on site and we deliver all activities together at one place. And if those activities do not comply with requirement or comply with what we do, then what can I say? We can say, oh no, I have missed it. I have spoiled this time. I have spoiled this material. No one has got any right to spoil material, because material comes from nature. Material comes, whatever material we use, no contribution comes from human being. We may work in manufacturing, we may work in production, we may work in engineering, construction. Every material that we get, it's from nature, in one form or other. For example, we get concrete. Concrete, what is concrete? It's matrix, it's complete mix-up of stone, dust means stone dust, or sand, or cement, and cement means lime, cement means silica, cement means or many chemicals. Cement means maybe cementing materials now, like a slag or fly ash, likewise microsilica. All these come some way. These come from nature. We don't produce them. These are naturally available. All these we use, and water we use, and technology we use. Otherwise, we cannot do anything. So God has given us everything, indirectly or directly. It's up to us to understand what we do. We can't abuse that. If we abuse God's product, then of course God shall abuse us. It's like parent and child. Parent does everything. Parent do everything for child, but child doesn't care. At that time, parent must feel unhappy, and parents express anger of child. What are you doing? That's what parent try to bring back that child from that naughty status, naughty conduct. And we can say, It's a kind of coordination. So we do not do anything except we use natural resources. There's nothing that can be done without natural availability. God has given everything that we must understand. And that money value, from where does it come to, when we talk of coordination, we talk of communication, we talk of, we can say, engineering, or we can talk of manufacturing, or whatever we talk of from here. Without these resources, without the human resource itself, we are saying, I'm worker, I'm working for this, but who am I? I'm not my own production, and even my parent could not produce me if God's not there. I'm also God's production. It's God that's behind every activity. We should realize that fact, which we forget actually, because our eyes and mind can think of material only, but we forget that this material is not your own production. This is natural production. So we have to respect that. But who respects? Nobody respects. We have spoiled air, we have spoiled water bodies, we have polluted everything, and then this means we don't honor God's work. We spoil God's work, in fact. Don't take it religiously or otherwise. It's a fact. We have spoiled earth, we have spoiled air, we have spoiled water bodies, solid part, water part, and we have spoiled our health also because of pollution. Don't think it is something, means we saw our own result. Maybe COVID-19 due to that, nobody can say. But time may tell. So what we say, we are very bad children. Of course, I can't blame birds and animals, because we can't expect them. They are living for food, but human who has mind, who can think, human has got every right, every opportunity or privilege to use these sources, but we abuse them. And this is what we should learn. People run behind economy, all countries run behind economy. Okay, fine, run behind economy, but first try to understand what economy is. People don't try to understand this. They just try to say, oh, it's mine. Means I am owner of this. This conception that I am owner of this is rubbish one. First of all, there is no honor in this world. There are no one honor of these countries. There is no country at all. It's all our imagination. This is my country, this is America, this is India, Bharat, this is Pakistan, this is England, this is German. It's all imagination. No one is honor of these. It's only because don't come to my country without my permission. And don't leave this country without my permission. Oh my God, you are honor of this. Can you tell me when shall you leave this world? You cannot tell me. Who shall give you visa of that? You do not know. And when did you come to this earth? From whom did you get visa? Nobody knows. That's why I'm saying real life is secret. Nobody knows. But superficial life or fake life is this which we are living. Everybody knows that we have to leave this world one day. Nobody knows now I'm talking to you what may happen after 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Nobody knows. But still it was no problem. It's economy. Economy is a fake term actually. There's no economy. Whoever more resources, holds my resource. That's it. Look, whatever is fixed, whatever is available within Earth or lithosphere, I call lithosphere because it's geography, it's a geological term. Solid part of Earth is called lithosphere, where water bodies are also included, and air part, air space, we can say air part around Earth and circling in Earth's sphere is called air, and solid part plus air part equal to Earth. That's definition of Earth. And we know Earth is just about 12,500 kilometers in diameter. This means Earth is a ball about 12,000, let us say 13,000 for sake of understanding. We are living on a ball that is 13,000 kilometer diameter. And we are all fighting for this. People fight, they go to war For what, they also don't know. There are representatives you call heads of state. They just want to enjoy war, and they enjoy war. They don't know. They don't go to borders to fight. And what for they are fighting, they also don't know. Nobody knows, because this earth belongs to none. And I don't understand why people convert this material into the wrong currencies. And they say, I am advancing, I have got this and I got. They don't understand. You are not adding anything to sources available in earth. This point is very important. We have taken out petrol, diesel, crude oil from earth. Did you replace that? We could not. Means it has been taken out, and it took place, I think, it was converted to oil from fossil fuel, from fossils, maybe in millions of years. Nobody knows. That's what we say. We don't value God's work. We don't value. We only value economy. Means economy is more important for every country. And economy means wealth you have. Though this wealth which is available within earth or lithosphere is for everyone, every resident of this earth. But it doesn't happen practically, because countries are there and every country thinks, this is my reservoir, this is your reservoir. I'm calling reservoir, doesn't mean the oil reservoir, I'm calling reserves, which God has given us. It's not even our reserves. And that's why I say we should respect all that. The economy does not exist. It's wealth of this quantity of every raw material that's available in earth. We have to understand this fact. We have not known about earth till now. We have not known completely. You may know something about only or nothing else. Nobody knows what actually is available inside. Still we do not know complete top layer, which we call crust of this lithosphere. Crust, then there is internal one, and that's called mantle, and that's a further internal one that goes up to center of this ball. This layer, crust, mantle or core. Crust is also not fully known, because upper 35 km approximately, you can say from sea level 35 km down if you go, that portion in spherical form is called crust, and we do not know everything about that. We do not know everything about ocean. It's question, we cannot know anything. But wealth is available. We do not know what's available if you go down from 35 km to, let us say, 3000 something. What should be available there? Only references are there, indications are there. This could be available, that could be available, but nobody knows. And then if you go further down, it's a very, very dense part of earth, which can be like steel weight, it is like steel. It's and in between metal part, we can say it's like concrete, a more concrete, heavy duty concrete, heavyweight concrete. And this part of this system, and there are varying densities. I have put this in some video also. Earth teaches us something. We have to learn that lesson. We're not masters of everything. We're not masters of everything. Masters means not degree master. I'm talking of natural capability of being master. We have to respect that master, that professor, that producer who produced us, as produced this earth and this solar system. I sometimes think thinking only, I'm not saying that may be correct. When you see billions and billions of stars in the sky, and though we see at night time, but these always remain there. What are these? Can somebody tell me? It's a general question. Can you think what's that? I think this way we have to understand. You have to understand, observe. You have to understand and observe nature. And that observation tells you, means it's like a real study. It's not simply a book study. This world itself is book, and this universe itself is widest book, beyond our control. But when scientists understand this, social or very ordinary person like me, if try to think about this, we get some information ourselves, because our mind is a very well programmed hard disk which automatically works that things through its focal length, its focus, and that's eyes. So you can see eyes are so powerful, that can view your stars locations. Think of how powerful is our eye, and we have to value that. Eye is so important. It works so fast in our view, our vision, and how important should be our mind. And these must be having quality which we cannot do for our works. That's why I say we have to think on, and thinking is very important. Coordination is, you know, if you do coordination, I coordinate. I'm unfortunate to tell you. I should not tell you that, but it's happened. I have been behind searching various coordinations. I can find reliable coordinations in whatever form. This means coordination is not very general, and this also means people are not interested in coordination. They just want to do something without thinking what shall happen to this in future. Shall it be sustainable or shall it be sustainable or shall become scrap? Just like plastic has been an answer, had we known or had someone who started this plastic ethylene means at that time there must be some feedback, but nobody might have cared. And result is that not even 100 years have been over, we got information about crude oil in earth. We have extracted as much as possible and consumed fired that one. That's why I'm saying we are so weak people in earth. We don't understand. It's very difficult to make something, and it's very easy to break it or diminish it. We have diminished that, and then we know energy cannot be exhausted, energy cannot be destroyed. This is observation based scientific principle that energy can change its form, but it cannot be destroyed. At that point, we should have thought of energy is available everywhere. Energy can change its form, it can transform to the form, but it cannot be destroyed, and that's a very important part. I have to think relatively or basically, and that's why I say missing real coordination means missing good engineering. That good engineering which gives us everything. Engineering has been limited actually. It's not very excellently defined. Engineering, we say, okay, we do something and that's engineering, but I also say that we think of something and that's engineering, because thinking means your mind is working, your mind works. And thinking is your power, if you can think properly. And God has given everybody this mind capacity. Somebody thinks, somebody doesn't think. It's not fault of God. It's not fault of God. It's fault of individual. That we have given some value, we have been given some potential. If you don't use that potential, what shall happen? We know what shall happen. Missing real coordination means missing good engineering. If you do something without thinking, as I have done it, then you may not know what for you did it, and you did it. That's the important point. Means it's like a material change. Materials property change. We have studied in science and engineering that nothing is permanent. Every metal, every product keeps on changing its properties, and due to radioactivity or due to whatever reason. Some people call it in engineering hysteresis. Some call it it's electronic automatic electron time. But it doesn't happen in 1 day or 1 year. It takes many decades in some cases, and maybe centuries. But we don't live more than this. Nowadays we don't live 60, 70, 80, 1,000 years. No, we just live some years of life. We can say we cannot understand everything. We cannot understand what is secret in this universe or universes, and that secrecy. Okay, we have no capacity to know that. But whatever we can think of, whatever is available, what material is available, what other resources are available, how to use them best for our development. It's not a question of making money. Those who think to make money, I think they are mindless people. I'm not saying that making money is crime. It's not crime. Making money for what? You have to make money from whom? You are not honored this earth, I'm saying. You are not honored this. I'm not honored this. So how can, first of all, I say it's my money or it's my wealth? When I say money means it's wealth, of course. Wealth value it is. And how can I progress if I don't explore that? We have been using and abusing that material, and that's because we are bad quality people. We are bad quality engineers, bad quality owners. We are bad quality performers. Everything is bad. And that's why, it's big question. Though I'm an engineer, I shouldn't talk of orthodoxism, but fact remains that we are involved with that. For example, people are religious, you can't change them. People are having certain classes in sections, you can't change them. People have certain habits, you can't change them. Okay, no need of changing, but we can talk to them positively that we have to help this world, and it's job of everybody to help this world. It's not that I don't think for you. We are all on the earth and world, and because we live in this world, it's our responsibility to take care of this to an extent possible. I'm not saying that we can take responsibility, but we can do something for good of everybody. So why should I think all time if I am in good food, good life? Why should I worry about what the money I shall have? Some people are ambitious, I should have that much money. This is what I say, madness it is called. We know that even if your whole world is yours, so say you are in charge of this world, you have whole material for you, what shall I do? Tell me. We can't do anything, but we boast about that. And that boosting is bad, you can say, for us. That's why I always write certain questions and certain notings, and is that is coordination engineering a must on every project? And that's the point. Is coordination engineering is a must on every project? And I can say, and you may say, may not say, I don't know, but I can say without coordination, I cannot work. Because coordination means application of mind, then knowing by mind knows what is required, and then inquiry of that information, finding that information, and again applying this. Previously one issue was applied, now second issue has also come. Likewise third issue, fourth issue, and how many issues are involved. We keep on applying them and we keep working on them and integrating all this information to single level, and we can say, okay, fine, we have done it. And that's very important point, my dear. We have to understand this. It's no joke. People like engineers and others who are thinkers, they should talk this way. It's very important one. Otherwise, we miss everything. And that point is really, I'm not saying I know everything. I'm like you, means something I know, something I don't know. It's up to my profession, to my involvement. Even your degree can't help you if you don't work. And engineering is that profession where work is important. I'm not saying everyone is same, every engineer is same. There are various classes of people. Some engineers think only in terms of money, some think only in terms of design, some do on based on information provided to them. And that's where I say we have to be. First, we have to learn what is required. We have to learn what is quality, not quality system, not talking of system. Systems we can make, but variations, or but you can say requirements we cannot make, and that requirement is very important one. We have to be very serious about that issue, and that reason every day I bring to myself this. We have to understand this point. Quality is very important, and without quality we cannot do anything. That quality is really is a great consideration. You think on first, you select your own system, which system you want to produce, which system you want to do. And as far as quality plus coordination is concerned, you will be behind because you have no basics of that. There's no degree or diploma which you can say is quality related or coordination related. It you have to do on your own. You have to be exponent of that. You know what's the meaning of exponent? Is kind of researcher who discovers, who exposes or deposes secrecy, which is not known at that time. There's no book available. I can say that. There's so many books available in quality system, but books are not available in quality approach, quality work, and that's simple. Because if you want to talk to those people who register you as ISO 9000 or other, they register your system you're working. They don't register products, and that's the difference. Means nobody can claim the product this company gives us according to requirement. Though everybody claims in writing on the catalogs or literature or publicity, we can do this and that. That's all commercial. I don't respect that until it's adequately tested and it stands. It tells us where does it stand. Until that happens, we cannot say that something can be done. And that's really very important part of life. We have to be serious about that. Nobody can say anything in that way, this way. We have to be very, very serious in that question. We can say that's a big question, a brilliant question, and we can say, I just come back to now concrete. We're talking quality of concrete. We're talking about concrete, and yesterday we somewhere I can say production plant, storage facilities talk of, then I think we talk of measuring equipment. Is that, I think, no, we didn't talk of that, right? It was talk of mixers. So let us go to production. And it's that way, production plant. We before to this chapters concrete production, and then ICV were somewhere here representation of mixed proportions, and we studied this table. I just refreshed it. As a general rule, mixed proportions should be presented, and that's before that I just put a slip here. So we are changing to concrete technology now rather than discussing that, and it's therefore very serious matter. We have to be serious about this and serious about everything. We say representation of mixed proportions. As a general rule, mixed proportions should be presented as given table. What's that? If you see these points here, you can see, let's blow it up a little more. You can see maximum size of coarse aggregate. And here's what is coarse aggregate in concrete is stone part of stone. It may be limestone, it may be gabbro, it may be igneous, it may be whatsoever. Stone is a stone, sandstone, limestone, igneous, or you can say volcano, or granite stone, or whatever it is. And then you have to care about slump. It's for representative mixed proportions, means representation, what's centimeter of slump, then what are air contents, let's say air content percentages, and water cement ratio. Water cement ratio, then sand percentages of sand, S over A, S stands for sand and A stands for aggregate. What is percentage of sand in relation to aggregate? And that's coarse aggregate in fact, and though sand is also aggregate, is a fine aggregate. You can say what's relation between coarse fine aggregate and coarse aggregate, that's called SA. Then question is water, then cement, and this is in kilogram per cubic meter of course. Then mineral admixture, which I we add, that's denoted by F, and of course then fine aggregate, that is sand. This is in contents, so how much water shall be used, how much shall be mixed, how much water for mixer, how much use, what quantity of cement we shall use, what mineral admixture quantity shall be used, shall be included, and what fine aggregate we say sand shall be used. So this is an all kilogram per meter cube. We have to measure, of course, batch in kilograms, and coarse aggregate in which maybe two grades, watt mm likewise, and chemical admixture. That is what we say we have to. And if we take explanations, you can say in slump one explanation is, you can see standard method is to indicate target slump, as we discussed before also, target slump at unloading condition, unloading location where we are unloading concrete, if necessary minimum slump for placement, and target slump upon completion of mixing are also indicated. That is explanation 1. And if you go to explanation 2, and one is here, water cement ratio. If a mineral admixture with pozzolana reactivity or latent hydraulic properties used, that is mineral admixture is included in mix, water cement ratio becomes water binder ratio. So it's binder, okay. And if you go to number 3, and that says cement, what it says about cement, that's powder content should be indicated. Powder content should be indicated as combined contents of cement and mineral admixture as an approximate indicator of segregation resistance. And then we have to go to find 3 and 4 here in mineral admixture, and 4 is also in that regard. If 2 or more types of mineral admixtures are used or mixed, what mixed proportions for different types are indicated separately on an as needed basis. And then climate admixture, here is climate admixture content is indicated in milliliter per meter cube or gram per meter cube, that is chemical admixture. and quantity of undiluted and undissolved liquid. Chemical admixture content is indicated in milliliter per meter cube or gram per meter cube, and quantity of undiluted and undissolved liquid must be indicated. Then we have commentary here. Let's read that. As a general rule, I think it's readable, but I'm just speaking so that those who cannot read should listen also. Maybe there's a break in voice due to low signals, but something is better than nothing. Reading is not a problem. As a general rule, mixed proportions should be indicated by mass and content of each ingredient used in each cubic meter of mixed concrete must be indicated in form. Mixed tables should also show information such as type of structure, specified strength of structure and required strength of structure, type of cement, what type of cement we use, include, and fineness modulus of fine aggregate, and type of coarse aggregate, solid content of coarse aggregate, transportation time and time of year of construction. A recommended standard practice is to indicate target slump, as we discussed many times. A recommended standard practice is to indicate target slump at unloading location in mix tables, and if necessary, determination of slump or determined slump at each stage of construction, from immediately after completion of mixing to placement of concrete. It's also good practice to indicate combined content of powdery materials such cement and mineral admixtures to show whether segregation resistance appropriate for slump level is being maintained. Now we come to concrete production. Concrete production is ultimate requirement actually for this specification, because it is concrete specification, and concrete material, you may say, it's the major part of every project all around the world. It's not confined to one country. It depends, of course, variation of categories, variation of qualities of aggregate may be there, depending on climatic conditions and depending on people's status, people's level of knowledge. And it's important we have to see that point rightly. Concrete is not joke. I've seen people don't know what concrete is, but we keep on doing their way, and that is beyond our capacity, because we cannot go to everybody to say that I am practitioner, come to me, I will help you. But this doesn't mean you get money. That's key point to keep in mind. And that's why concrete production is, how many cubic meter of concrete is produced one day, nobody knows. Maybe it's in millions cubic meter, or not millions, in lakhs around world, and maybe in our one country it will be in thousands cubic meter. So it depends on what level of development goes on. But concrete production is of course very important material, because if once done, it can't be redone. Either it's good waste, or if it's given solidification, if it's become hardened, then it's used and it can't be taken back, except demolishing or dismantling. It can't come back to us. And that point's very much important to understand. We are not going to add anything to concrete. We are going to dictate it, and that's why I have to think of. The concrete is your whole life material, and we have to respect that, we have to treat it accordingly. But do we do that? That's the point of concern. Everybody knows concrete. Without concrete, nothing can move. And concrete, as we say, concrete with the required quality shall be produced, not without quality. And that point is very important. You cannot blindly produce something without designs, trial mixes, or otherwise. So concrete with required quality shall be produced. There is no other way. And particularly if you are material engineer or civil engineer, you have a duty, because you have no right to produce something that breaks nature. Though nature we can't break, but after all, this is also plan for our people, and it's about concrete is very important material. Nobody can deny this fact. It's such a material without availability of which, without mix up of which, we cannot do anything. That's why concrete with required quality should be considered very importantly, very significantly. Concrete with required quality shall be produced. It is simple. Concrete with required quality shall be produced. Equipment used for storage. Equipment used for storage, batching, and mixing of materials shall be one that has been verified to have required performance. Equipment used for storage, batching, and mixing of materials shall be one that has been verified to have required performance. Methods of storing, batching, and mixing materials by using equipment with requirement performance shall be determined prior to production of concrete. Specialists with sufficient knowledge and experience shall be assigned to production of concrete to control quality of concrete materials, production, equipment, and concrete. These are four simple lines in which says required quality is a must. Equipment should be per requirement. Which equipment is going to be used for storage, batching, and mixing of this material must be verified that it can perform accordingly. And then how to store, how to batch, and how to mix by using same equipment, and know about its performance levels, and it has to be determined. And also specialist professionals, personnel with sufficient knowledge and experience shall be entrusted or assigned to the production of concrete to control quality of concrete materials per production, equipment, and concrete. These are 4 points which are very nominal. We can add to them whatever we like, but let us leave as it is. First let us study, let us see how it works. This is very important. And then we can say specialists with sufficient knowledge and experience shall be assigned to production of concrete to control quantity, to control quality of concrete materials, production equipment in concrete. So this is very, very general for concrete production. Let's say in order to produce a concrete with required quality, it is important to use equipment with required performance level, use appropriate production methods, and have specialists capable to ensure stable quality of concrete. Perform quality control. Use of equipment with required performance is most fundamental and important for production of concrete. If concrete material meet, even if concrete materials meet quality requirements specified in other chapters, inadequate production equipment increases possibility of fluctuations or degradation of quality of stored material. Fluctuations in mixed proportions due to batching errors and fluctuations of properties of mixed concrete, thereby making it difficult to obtain concrete with required quality stably. This means, again I read this, very important one. Use of equipment with required performance is most fundamental and important for production of concrete. Even if concrete materials meet quality requirement specified in a chapter, inadequate production equipment increases possibility of fluctuations or degradation of quality of stored material. Fluctuations in mixed proportions due to batching errors. So another point is here, that is inadequate production equipment increases possibility of fluctuations or degradation of quality of stored material. Fluctuations in mixed proportions due to batching errors and fluctuations of properties of mixed concrete, thereby making it difficult to obtain concrete with required quality stably. Even with storage, batching and mixing equipment meet performance requirement. It says batching and mixing equipment meets performance requirement. It's difficult to obtain concrete with required quality if concrete is produced without ascertaining in advance that storing, batching and mixing methods are appropriate, as in case where inadequate equipment is used. Performance requirements for production equipment are described elsewhere. And it's very important noting here that we have to consider. Important noting here. Says even when storage, batching and mixing equipment meet performance requirement, it's difficult to obtain concrete with its required quality if concrete is produced without ascertaining in advance that storing, batching and mixing methods are appropriate, as in case where inadequate equipment is used. Performance requirements for production equipment are described. Now, even when production equipment meets its performance requirements and appropriate production methods are used, it's difficult to obtain concrete of stable quality if production specialists lack ability to control quality of concrete stably. Since quality of concrete is easily affected by various factors It's important for specialists who produce concrete to have expert knowledge, expert knowledge and experience, expert knowledge and experience related to quality and production of concrete. Even when production Even in production, equipment meets required performance and appropriate production methods are used, it's difficult to obtain concrete of stable quality if production specialists lack ability to control quality of concrete stably. Since quality of concrete is easily affected by various factors, it is important for specialists who produce concrete to have expert knowledge and experience related to quality and production of concrete. It's important that a specialist qualified as chief concrete engineer or a concrete engineer stay at construction site and perform quality control. Since operation and maintenance of production equipment requires specialized knowledge about mechanical and electrical equipment, it is good practice to make effort to enhance operators' ability and knowledge about operating and considering ways to contact outside specialists so that troubleshooting action can be taken in terms of equipment failure. Now it's concrete production. We continue that. It's about plant, where we are dealing with plant, deal with so we say production plant, storage facilities. Storage facilities for cement and mineral admixtures. What is that? Storage facilities for cement and mineral admixtures shall have a structure to keep inside free of moisture. Means there should be no moisture. Free of moisture and cement and admixtures shall be stored separately according to whatever types they are. The storage facilities for cement and mineral admixtures shall have structure to keep inside free of moisture, and cement and mixtures shall be stored separately according to types. Storage facilities for aggregate shall have a structure that stores aggregate separately according to their type, size and grading, such that they do not segregate in size easily. Also, storage facilities okay. The storage facilities for aggregates have a structure that stores aggregates separately according to their types, size and grading, such that they do not segregate in size easily. Also, Storage facilities shall have an adequate drainage such that surface moisture content is variate can be maintained at a uniform level. Storage facilities for chemical admixtures shall have a structure that stores admixture separately according to respective type and shall prevent any contamination with impurities, changes in properties, segregation in liquid admixture. In general, cements and mineral admixtures general that in general cements and mineral admixtures should be stored in storage facilities equipped with state structure to keep inside free of moisture. In general, cements and mineral admixtures should be stored in storage facilities equipped with structure to keep inside free of moisture. Volume of a silo should be more than 3 times. Volume of silos should be more than 3 times average volume of use per day. It can be more also. A storage silo for cements and minerals admixture should be of structure as to have no dead stock of cement at bottom and be equipped with vibrators, knockers or an aeration system in vicinity of bottom to prevent arch formation of powder particles and to ensure a smooth discharge of material. In case when using cement of which using cement silo of which inside is separated into smaller storages by steel plate separators, attention need be paid for leakage of cement from welding part. Furthermore, it shall be prevented that different types of cements or minerals and mixtures mix each other. If cement cannot be sent directly from a cement silo to a batching plant, it is necessary to install a storage bin, overbatching bin. Overbatching bin. Two or more cement storage bins are or should be available. If mineral admixtures that are not used for production of ordinary concrete are stored as and when high fluidity concrete is produced. Care shall taken to prevent problems such as clogging or malfunctioning of level indicators due to compaction of admixture resulting from long-term storage. It's important that aggregate storage facilities be capable of storing aggregates of different types and different size and separately different sizes separately. We have sufficient capacity so that stored aggregate can be or can It's important segregates those facilities capable of storing aggregate of different types of different sizes separately have sufficient capacity so that the stored aggregate can be used on first use basis. Storage facilities shall also be structurally designed so that aggregates do not become segregated when they are received or handled. Since quality of concrete is easily affected by fluctuations in surface moisture, content of aggregate control measures and risk of fires. Let's say storage facilities shall also be structurally designed so that aggregate do not become segregated when they are received or handled. Since quantity of concrete is easily affected by fluctuations in surface moisture, content of aggregate, control measures need be taken so that surface moisture content of aggregate is kept uniform. And aggregate storage facilities include stockyard types and silos type. For stockyard type storage facilities, it is important to provide roofing so that aggregate is not affected by rains and direct sunlight. Prevent intrusion of other aggregates, mud, dead leaves, ice, snow, etc. And provide a gentle drainage for gentle drainage for Okay, further up, little thinking, of course, is necessary. Meetings, just think of what to do, how to do. Don't take advice, please. Okay, because thinking like this is a very important part. It's concrete, so I have to think a lot on this. It's not simply what we do. It's what we have to review what to do and how to do, and that's very important part here. We have to be realistic in that way. So we say that, as you may say, aggregate storage facility includes stockyard types, aggregate storage facilities include stockyard types and silo types. For stockyard type storage facilities, it is important to provide roofing so that aggregate is not affected by rains and direct sunlight, prevent intrusion of other aggregates. Mud means we have to prevent intrusion of mud, dead dead means dead leaves, ice, snow, etc. My god, these dogs. And provide a gentle drainage, slope or effective drainage. For silos type storage facilities, bottom of fine aggregate storage, silos should be designed for efficient drainage and derive and drainage and devices such as air blasters should be provided so that aggregate accumulated at bottom of silo can be removed. Even for silo type storage facilities, if offer for receiving aggregate from transportation vehicle is located outdoors, it's important to provide a roof over hopper to prevent intrusion of rain and accumulation of aggregate in hopper. 5. In order to minimize fluctuations in particle size distribution of aggregate, for example 20 to 5 mm aggregate should be divided into 20 to 10 mm aggregate and 10 to 5 mm aggregate and be stored and batched separately. It's also necessary to take measures so as to prevent freezing of aggregate or a rise in temperature. You can say rise in temperature of aggregate because of outdoor air temperature. Outdoor air temperature, and also you can say aggregate stored in stockyard facilities or silos are transported by a belt conveyor to concrete plant distributed by turn chutes and dropped into aggregate storage bins. These facilities shall be inspected periodically for problems such as clogging of drainage troughs, leakage from gates, intrusion of water into aggregate carried on belt conveyor, or accumulation of aggregate on belt conveyor or in storage bins. In highly absorptive aggregates, such as artificial lightweight aggregate or blast furnace slag, coarse aggregates are stored. Watering facilities such as sprinklers should be provided in addition to drainage facilities. Concerning storage of artificial lightweight aggregate construction, special concrete, lightweight aggregate concrete of these specs should be consulted because of its latent hydraulic property. Blast furnace slag fine aggregate may become difficult to withdraw during time of year when daily in temperature exceeds 20 degrees Celsius, so that consolidation occurs in aggregate storage facilities or storage bins. It's therefore necessary to avoid long term storage during such periods. When producing concrete by using blast furnaces, like fine aggregate guidelines must be followed. Chemical admixtures shall be stored in a way admixtures shall be stored in a way with as to prevent incursion of dirt or other impurities. Chemical admixtures shall be stored in such a way as to prevent incursion of dirt or other impurities. Chemical admixtures of liquid form shall be stored so as to prevent their segregation, quality change, or freezing. Chemical admixtures of powder from powder form shall be stored so as to prevent their moisture absorption and lumping. Chemical admixtures which have been stored for long time or are found to be unsure quality shall be tested to confirm quality before use. Storage facilities for chemical admixtures of liquid form shall be structured that can protect from contamination of impurities and should have a mixer or a circulator protecting from segregation due to sedimentation. In case that storage tanks or transportation pipes are made of steel, attention need be paid for corrosion. The liquid type of chemical admixture is generally controlled its pH to neutral or weak alkali condition. Special attention should be required for use of acid admixtures. For storage facilities for water, tanks for water and liquid chemical admixtures, it's also important to take measures to reduce batching errors by using automatic water supply or overflow piping. For storage facilities for water and liquid chemical admixtures, it's also important to take measures to reduce batching errors by using automatic water supply method or overflow piping to keep water pressure, water level or concentration or protection measures. To prevent freeze damage to piping from storage tank. For storage facilities for water and liquid chemical admixtures, it's also important to take measures to reduce batching errors by using automatic water supply method or overflow piping to keep water pressure, water level or concentration constant, or protection measures to prevent freezing freeze damage to piping from storage tanks to storage bins, and to breakdown due to senior both. So again say for storage facilities, tanks for water and liquid chemical admixtures, it's also it's also important to take measures to reduce batching errors by using automatic water supply method or overflow piping to keep water pressure, water level or concentration constant, or production measures to freeze damage damage to piping from storage tanks to storage bins, and a breakdown. Again I say for storage facilities for water and liquid chemical admixtures, it's also important to take measures to reduce batching errors by using automatic water supply method or overflow piping to keep water pressure, water level or concentration constant or production there to addition of water. Then we have to see, says measuring equipment. Measuring equipment used to weigh each material shall be compatible to production of concrete and be capable of batching each material within required accuracy. Equipment used to weigh each material shall be periodically inspected before and during operation and appropriately adjusted. It's necessary to choose measuring equipment suitable for producing volume of concrete, scale and importance of construction. Furthermore, equipments used to weigh each material shall be capable of batching each material within required accuracy. So there are both mechanical and electrical types of measuring equipment. Most popular is electrical type because remotely monitoring can be operated and a digital control is done with analog digital converter at present. Since settings of batching value is fundamental to batching, setting of batching values is fundamental to batching equipment need be capable of performing batching correctly according to mix proportion settings. Punch card equipment is used for settling of batch values, but most plant used CPU memory type equipment based on computer knowledge, equipment. Say punch card equipment is used for setting of batching values, but today most plant use CPU as Alright, let's see what's position of battery now. This is just 61%, so it's okay. So we can say there are both mechanical and electrical types of measuring equipment. Most popular is electrical type because remotely monitoring can be operated and the digital control is done with an analog digital converter at present. Setting, since setting of batching value is fundamental, setting of batching value is fundamental to batching. Batching equipment need be capable of performing batching correctly according to mix proportion settings. Punch card equipment is used for setting of batching values. But today most plants use CPU type memory type compute equipment based on computer keyboard entry. Recent years saw widespread use of operation room equipment with comprehensive quality control capability as well as batching control that incorporates various other systems and automatic batching value correction system. Chemical admixtures such as air and water reducing agents generally and greatly affect quality of concrete. Devices for preventing excessive water flow may be installed at water inlets. So it says recent years so widespread use of operation room equipment with comprehensive quality control capability as well as batching control that incorporates various other systems such as automatic material feed control system, automatic surface moisture content measuring systems and automatic batching value correction system. Chemical admixtures such as air entering water reducing agents greatly affect quality of concrete. Devices for preventing excessive water flow may be installed at water inlets. Batching equipment for each material shall be checked before start of use and adjusted so as to weigh each material within prescribed limits for errors in batching. Even when batching equipment is adjusted in this way, accuracy deteriorates with time. Therefore, equipment shall be regularly checked and readjusted as required. If inside surface of aggregate batching bin is not smooth, residual aggregate may lower batching accuracy, and it is therefore necessary to make improvements such as bonding rubber sheets. As a general rule, batch mixers should conform to this. Continuous mixers shall be ones that have been verified to have required mixing through a mixing performance test conducted according to that code. Commentary. Batch mixers. Batch mixers are classified into two types: gravity type and forced mixing type. Regarding gravity type, there are tilting and drum mixers. Forced mixing type batch mixers come in pan types: single horizontal axis and double horizontal axis types. Mixing efficiency is tested on mixed concrete. Mixing efficiency is tested on mixed concrete by a compressive strength test, an air content test, and a slump test. Methods of test for variability of constituents in freshly mixed concrete. Concrete mixer, when testing results do not satisfy threshold values, it's often considered that the structure of mixer is not appropriate or blade for mixing is abraded. Now we have to think of mixing capacity of batch mixer. It's now time how much? Let me see. 1 hour 49 minutes gone. We have here mixing capacity of batch mixer. We have mixing capacity of batch mixer. In this is item, then mixing volume of concrete, nominal volume, a half of nominal volume. In item, variability of mass per unit volume of mortar in concrete, its variability of content of coarse aggregate in concrete. First is mass per unit volume of mortar in concrete, variability of content of coarse aggregate in concrete, then variability from average value, and that is compressive strength, air content, and slump value. In first case, variability of mass per unit volume of mortar in concrete, and nominal volume is 0.8% or less. Mortar in concrete 0.8% or less, half of nominal volume is 0.8% or less. Then variability of content of coarse aggregate in concrete 5% or less in nominal volume and 5% less. Then variability from average values, compressive strength is 7.5% or less, air content is 10% or less, slump value is 15% or less. In upper bound of nominal capacity, of mixer, targeted cement mixer, both gravity type mixer and forced type mixers are 2 meter. Suitability should be just by applying regulations about mixer for normal capacity to exceed this. Recently, a mass mixer of nominal capacity 6 meter cube came to be used. We can read this. It's a good one. I can read this and I'll be back. It behaves back in 2 minutes. It's 46% remaining. I just put off that. Minutes back, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. My dear friends, so I can say in upper bound of, I can say here, in upper bound of nominal capacity of mixer targeted cement mixer, both gravity type mixer and force mixing type mixer are 3 meter cube. On upper bound it says in upper bound here, sorry for delay. In upper bound you can say, according to this table, in upper bound of nominal capacity of mixer targeted by cement mixer, both gravity type mixer and forced mixing type mixer are 3 meter cube. Suitability should be judged by applying regulations. Suitability should be judged by applying regulations of JISA correspondingly about mixer of our nominal capacity to exceed this. Recently, a mass mixer of nominal capacity 6 meter cube has come to be used. Forced mixing type mixer is suitable for stiff concrete, concrete of rich mix and special concretes. Now, in general, forced mixing type mixer can shorten necessary mixing time than case of tilting mixer. Continuous mixers may be used when large-scale production equipment cannot be installed. Continuous mixers may be used when large-scale production equipment cannot be installed at sites of tunnel construction. Continuous mixers may be used when large-scale production equipment cannot be installed at sites of tunnel construction, rehabilitation, offshore construction, etc. Concrete production by use of continuous mixers, however, differ in many ways from concrete production by use of batch mixers. Batching of metals by volume, sufficient calibration necessary for stable supply, possibility of poor quality concrete output immediately after commencement of operation. Continuous mixers therefore shall be used after referring to recommendations and measurement of materials. Materials shall be measured. Measurement of materials. Materials shall be measured, shall be batched according to mixed proportions, modified in view of such factors as state of materials, concrete temperature and slump related tension time, so that concrete with required quality can be obtained. Size of batch shall be determined. Size of batch shall be determined considering type and properties of concrete, performance of mixing equipment, method of transportation, type of construction, quantity of concrete to be placed. Size of batch to be determined shall be determined considering type and properties of concrete, performance of mixing equipment, method of transportation, type of construction, quantity of concrete to be placed. All materials for each batch shall be measured by weight. Errors in batching for each measurement shall not be greater than values given in this table. Permissible errors in measurement, let us say, is very important. Water, 1%, water 1%, error in measurement, cement 1%, aggregate 3%, mineral admixture 2%, and it is written 1 in case of finely ground blast furnace slag. Error in batching shall be taken as 1. Mixer mineral admixture 2%, but in case of finely ground blast furnace slag, error in batching shall be taken 1%. Chemical admixture 3. So minimum is 1, and that is water and cement. Errors only 1% is acceptable. In case where a continuous mixer is used, in cases when a continuous mixer is used, materials may be measured by volume. In cases when a continuous mixer is used, materials may be measured by volume. Error in measurement shall not be greater than values given, in which error should be calculated in mass weight, that is converted from volume of each material per appropriate specified period depending on capacity of mixer. Measured volume of each material per specified period shall be properly determined on basis of type of concrete, mixer, mixing time. Materials in storage should be as stable as possible. Materials in storage should be in as stable as metals in storage should be in as stable a state as possible, but surface moisture content and particle size distribution of aggregate, for example, are always in a state of change, and that is surface moisture content and particle size distribution of aggregate are always in a state of change. Temperature of freshly mixed concrete also varies depending on such factors as temperature of materials in storage and outdoor air temperature. These various changes affect slump and air content of freshly mixed or subsequent concrete. Concrete materials to be used, therefore, shall be batched after corrections, for such changes are made so that concrete of required quality can be obtained. Surface moisture content and effective absorption. Surface moisture content and effective absorption of aggregate change easily, and such changes affect slump and water cement ratio of concrete. Surface moisture content or effective absorption, therefore, shall be measured at appropriate frequency, and measurement results shall be reflected in batching. Surface moisture content shall be tested in accordance with this or other appropriate method and whatever else. Also, effective absorption values in cases where aggregate is dry shall be determined after letting aggregate absorb water for an appropriate period of time. Methods for testing surface moisture. Methods for testing surface moisture content include method of test for surface moisture of fine aggregate, method of test for moisture content of aggregate, and surface moisture in aggregate in tank. Other methods include graduated cylinder method, methods using infrared rays or other means for drying, methods using electrical resistance or dielectric constant, neutron based methods, and many other methods. That other methods include graduated cylinder method, that is for what? It is method of test for moisture content of aggregate and surface moisture in aggregate in drying. Other methods include graduated cylinder method, methods using infrared rays, or other methods, other means for drying. Other methods include graduated cylinder method, methods using infrared rays or other means for drying, methods using electrical resistance or dielectric constant, neutron based methods and many other methods. It's important. Test methods most appropriate for job site should be selected in view of factors such as time required for tasks to be performed, number of test cycles, test accuracy, and economic efficiency. In recent years, it has become possible to make water and aggregate batching corrections for all batches of fine aggregate according to changing surface moisture contents by installing surface moisture sensors in aggregate storage bins and at their outskirts. Methods for testing surface moisture content in fine aggregate, method of test for moisture content of aggregate and surface moisture in aggregate drying. Other methods include graduated cylinder methods using infrared rays or other means for drying. Methods using electrical resistance or dielectric constant, neutron based methods, and many other methods. Test methods most appropriate for job site should be selected in view of factors such as time required for tasks to be performed, number of test cycles, test accuracy, and economic efficiency. It has been possible in recent years to make water and aggregate batching corrections for all batches of fine aggregate according to changing surface moisture contents by installing surface moisture sensors in aggregate storage bins and their outskirts. Water used for dissolution or dilution of chemical admixtures is deemed to be included in water content. Water used for dissolution of or dilution of chemical admixtures is deemed to be included in water content. Solids contained in chemical admixtures may be ignored. Solids contained in chemical admixtures may be ignored for purpose of concrete volume calculation. Solids contained in chemical admixtures may be ignored for purpose of concrete volume calculations. A size of each batch of concrete produced especially in a plant at construction site is closely related to efficiency of work and construction cost. It's important that proper size is determined considering type of work, concrete quantity, to be placed, capacity of mixing plant and transportation method. As general rule, materials shall be batched by weight. However, water and liquid chemical admixtures may be measured by volume in case where they are confirmed to be within acceptable error. In case where cement and mineral admixtures are supplied in bags and difference between net mass of one bag and printed value of mass is confirmed to be within acceptable error, this may be batched on basis of number of bags. However, a quantity which is less than one bag shall be measured by mass. Material batching errors. Material batching errors include errors attributable to batching equipment. Material batching errors include errors attributable to batching equipment and errors that occur when materials are fed to batchers. Errors of former type can be reduced sufficiently by daily inspection and maintenance of batcher because inaccuracy of batchers can be determined by use of proof mass. In general, accuracy of batchers used for concrete construction is about 0.5% of maximum capacity. Errors attributable to material feeders, etc., however, can only be reduced to a limited extent. Batching devices, therefore, shall be managed so that material batching errors of batching system, including measuring instrument and feeder, can be kept within an appropriate range in relation to target value. We can say specification requires that cement and mineral admixtures be batched by use of separate measuring instruments. Batching errors specified in this article are maximum limits of batching error. Maximum limits of batching error, and that is becomes larger. We can say maximum limit of batching error. Batching error specified in this article are maximum limits of batching error allowable in general construction site. Case of important structures, proper batching methods whose batching error is less than value shown should be adopted. As batching error become large, particularly when quantity to be measured is small in comparison with capacity of batching machine, it is necessary to confirm that a batching machine can measure quantity of each batch accurately. Finely ground blast furnace slag is usually used for concrete in range of 30 to 70% in total mass of binder, and is mineral admixture having a latent hydraulic property. Therefore, error in batching of slag shall be taken as 1% or less, which is same regulation as cement. In case of batching in construction site, it is important to provide such supply equipment that batching error does not increase. Furthermore, it is important to prescribe capacity of a batching machine so as to measure quantity of each batch accurately and to modify equipment as required. Particularly, batching machine for water needs to be devised to improve its accuracy. Since batching machine often get out of order due to dust, these shall always be kept clean by installing a dust collector and so on. And batching value should be controlled by printing record. In case of continuous mixer, which is different from batch mixer, Continuity of materials is usually measured by volume by adjusting quantities of supply of aggregate, water and admixtures according to mixed proportions on basis of quantities of supply of cement per unit hour. If a continuous mixer is used, its measuring equipment shall be necessary. If a continuous measuring mixer is used, its measuring equipment shall necessarily be inspected prior to commencement of work by using materials which are to be used for work. This inspection shall be conducted by measuring weight of each material supplied during a fixed time. Measuring by volume generally results in more measuring errors than measuring by weight. Therefore, when inspection is performed in order to obtain less quantities per prescribed time most accurately, it is important that the quantity of measuring machine is properly determined and measuring equipment is adjusted as required to reduce measuring errors to utmost, so that measuring errors for each material shall be within allowable limits. Mixing. Constituent materials of concrete shall be thoroughly mixed until a uniform concrete is obtained. Sequence of charging materials into mixer shall be appropriately examined and decided in advance. As a general rule, time for mixing should be determined through experiments. Mixing shall not be continued for more than 3 times predetermined time of mixing. Mixing shall not be continued for more than 3 times predetermined mixing. As general rule, inner surface of mixer should be covered with mortar before commencing mixing. Materials for a new batch shall not be loaded into mixer before previous batch has been completely discharged. Mixers shall be properly washed prior to and after use. When a continuous mixer is used, first portion of discharged concrete shall not be used. In order to obtain a uniform concrete, mixing requirements to be performed using a mixer with high efficiency by feeding materials in proper order and mixing them for a proper period of time. Here we would like to just go back to some issue here, and that's an important one, I think. Whereas continuous concrete mixers are concrete mixers into which concrete ingredients fed into drum is mixed and discharged simultaneously and continuously out of drum in a continuous manner until completion of concrete work. Something different, I think. Yeah. Continuous concrete mixers uses different types of concrete mixers for mixing. Continuous concrete mixers, construction.org, economic times, constant, and Martin. Now let us see what is concrete price argument. So let us see what it says. That is continuous concrete mixers. Different types of concrete mixers and different types of concrete mixers. Let us see different types of concrete mixers or concrete mixing. That's also important. Different types of concrete mixers or concrete mixing machine. What is a concrete mixer? You know well type of concrete mixers, that is drum types, batch mixers, drum type, tilting drum mixers, non-tilting drum mixers. reversing drum mixer, then continuous mixers, you know that. Batch concrete mixers are widely used machines for concrete mixing. Concrete mix obtained by this mixer is collected batch by batch and time by time. So it's called batch mixer. After pouring all materials into pan or drum, it mixes all of those for some times. It mixes all of those for some times and finally discharges. This process is repeated, and this drum type is tilting drum type, non-tilting drum type, tilting drum mixers. Alright, that's okay. Here this point is what it says, difference between this. That what is a concrete mixer? Types of mixers, batch mixers and continuous mixers. There are two types. Batch mixers, drum type mixers, tilting drum, and non-tilting drum, and reversing drum mixer, pen type mixers, and batch concrete mixers. Batch mixers are widely used machines for concrete mixing. Concrete mix obtained by this mixer is collected batch by batch and time by time. So it is called batch mixers. After pouring all materials into pan or drum, it mixes all those for some time and final discharges. This process is repeated until the required amount of concrete mix is obtained. Drum type, pan type, drum type mixers, and we have also non-tilting drum type, reversing drum type, pan type concrete mixers, continuous concrete mixers. Continuous concrete mixers, name itself telling its duty that loading, mixing and discharging of mix is continuously done until work is complete. Until work is complete, and we know how does it work, and that's the important point. I'm just printing it so I can show you that for reference only. It's nothing that's a part of the information. I'm printing it so that you can see that. Only for that purpose, it is coming out, that loading. Let me be sure it comes out or doesn't come out. It's come out. Let me see something if you can see there, and it is coming out. It's coming out printing. It's coming out. Let me see. Just photographs are there. We can see that it is there. Just a minute, please. It's coming out. I want to show you. It's not. PDF is coming out. Come on, no this time. I can't see computer, but it's coming on, listen. Come on. Continuous mixer, name itself telling its duty that loading, mixing and discharging of mix is continuously done until work is completed or work breaks occurs. Loading of materials is done continuously by screw feeders. Continuous mixers are used for very large projects such as dams, bridges, construction of high-rise buildings, etc. We can say, are you coming or no? I'm waiting. You're not coming, is it? It's not coming. What's the problem? I don't know. It happens all the time. I want to show you. That's the only reason. It's not. I don't think it's working. It's come here. Why it's not doing different types of that? I see. It's come. Yes, it has come. You can see that. It has come. So this is your concrete mixers. You can see very well. Let's see here now. This is. You can see. Let me go through that and see what is that. Different types of concrete mixers, construction building idea, and this is what is a concrete mixer, type of concrete mixer, and batch mixers, that is the drum types, tilting drum mixers, non-tilting drum mixers, reversing drum mixers, pan type, and you can say continuous mixers are these. These are continuous mixers, different types of concrete mixers or concrete mixing machines. These are, this is batch concrete mixer actually, tilting type, this is various types, and here batch concrete mixers. These are batch mixers are widely used machines for concrete mixing. Concrete mix obtained by this mixer is collected batch by batch and time by time, so it's called a batch mixer. After pouring all materials into pan or drum, it mixes all those for some time and finally discharges. This process is repeated And we continue with the drum mixer, it's a pan type, then tilting drum, non-tilting drum, reversing drum. Tilting, now in this case, mixers, concrete glazes are mixed in drum, which is actually a double conical frustum shape. Drum types mixers are classified into tilting, non-tilting, reversing. Tilting drum mixer means drum will discharge concrete by tilting downwards. It's a rapid discharge process and used for large projects. Rapid means it delivers concrete by gravity. It's tilting drum towards downwards because of this concrete mix of thin be not subject to segregation. Low work, workable low workable concrete which contains large size aggregate of size 7.5 centimeter are also mixed efficiently with this tilting type mixers. But mixing efficiency depends on some of following factors: shape of drum, angle of drum, size of blades, angle of blades. Also size of blade, angle of blade. Only disadvantage of this mixer is sticking of concrete to bottom of drum. To overcome this, a method called buffering of mixer is applied, in which some amount of cement mortar is mixed in mixer between maximum first batch of concrete. Non-tilting drum type. Non-tilting drum mixers are not allowed to tilt, and drum rotates about horizontal axis. For discharge of concrete, a chute is arranged in inclined position, which will receive concrete mix from drum and discharge out. In this case, drum is opened at two ends and consists of blades inside. When material is poured through one end, mix is collected through another end. Rapid discharge of concrete is not possible in this case due to this delay. Concrete may be vulnerable to segregation. Large size aggregates not discharge easily with this mix, so size of aggregate not more than 7.5 is preferable. Then reversing drum mixer. Reverses drum mixers are similar to a non-tilting type, but in case reversal of rotation takes place for different actions. Drum has two openings. One end is for pouring material and other for discharge. Drum rotates about horizontal axis. Rotation of drum takes effects in one direction, mixing or discharging. Pan type concrete mixer. And then we have continuous concrete mixer here. Continuous mixer's name is self-telling. Its duty that loading, mixing and discharging of mix is continuously done until work is over. Loading of metal is done continuously by screw feeders. Continuous mixtures are used for very large projects such as dams, bridges, construction high-rise buildings. And it's here what I start to say. So others are not important. This was first. I'll close this now. No need of this. We go back to our talk. I was just wanted to show you what are these, what values these have, how we have to refer to them as a part of our talk. And it's important, in fact, it's important, we have to say that. So we go back to our commentary. I just wanted to give you some important information on that. And that information is that. Now I'll close this. And you can say, so in order to obtain a uniform concrete mixing, requirements or needs to be performed using a mixer with high efficiency by feeding material in proper order and mixing them for a proper period of time. Suitable order of changing materials into mixer varying depending on type of mixer. That's why we discussed with you. Mixing time, type and grading of aggregate, unit water content, unit cement content, and type of admixtures. This should be determined with reference to past experience or result of test performed, instant test and bleeding test. Since time necessary for sufficient mixing in batch mixers varies considerably depending on type of mixer, mixer capacity, concrete mix proportions, type of admixture and order of feeding materials, which shall be determined based on results and other tests as general rule. In case where difference in mass of unit volume of mortar is less than 0.8% and difference in content of coarse aggregate is less than 5%, which are specified. In case it can generally be considered that satisfactory mixing has been carried out. Furthermore, if relationship between load current of mixer and operation time can be measured, time until load current changes in stable condition after some amount of increasing and decreasing batch mixers. These are minimum values based on results of investigation of batching equipment and mixers in you can say use conducted in 1984 and average time which can obtained by the test of 70% of those times. In case of small slump concrete made by using lightweight aggregate or admixture or high strength concrete, it's in many cases appropriate to use long mixing time. When lightweight aggregate concrete, high strength concrete, etc. are mixed. Concrete, special concretes in this specification should be used as guide. If concrete is mixed for a long time, especially in case where mixer capacity is large or aggregate is not stiff and its maximum size is large, not only workability of concrete discharge time is reduced, but also its slump loss with time becomes larger because aggregate is crushed to increase the amount of powder and air content decreases during prolonged mixing period. Therefore, it's specified that mixing shall not be continued for more than 3 times predetermined mixing time. Concrete of required mix proportions cannot be obtained in first batch. Concrete of required mix proportions cannot be obtained in first batch since a part of its mortar component shall adhere to bare surfaces of mixer. Therefore, an appropriate amount of concrete should be mixed in to adhere its mortar to inside of mixer, and prescribed materials should be charged into mixer to be mixed after discharging prior concrete. If new materials are put into mixer in which there is residual concrete and mixed together, concrete of required quality cannot be obtained because inadequate mixing occurs locally. Mixing of new material therefore shall not be started until it is confirmed that previously mixed concrete is completely discharged. In cases where quality of mixed concrete may vary because of differences in materials used in different batches, measures described in this section should be taken after mixer is cleaned. When a continuous mixer is used, since concrete of undesirable quality may be discharged at start of its operation, such concrete shall not be used. Amount of concrete to be disposed of shall be greater than volume of mixing part as standard. Now, plasticization of concrete. Plasticization of concrete shall be carried out after considering details such as materials, mix proportions, fluidity enhancing methods and time until completion of placement so that quality requirement of concrete can be met. Slump can be increased by adding plasticizer to concrete in drum of truck agitator that has transported concrete from concrete plant to construction site and stirring mix until it becomes homogeneous. Use of plasticizer is effective when the required slump cannot be maintained until placement of concrete is completed. Superplasticized concrete with a slump comparable to that of ordinary concrete helps prevent thermal cracking and achieve higher quality because water content and cement can be reduced. Changes in slump of superplasticized concrete over time, however, differ considerably from those of ordinary concrete, and excessive use of plasticizer may have when trying to increase fluidity of concrete. Therefore, it's necessary to carefully study details such as materials, mix proportions, fluidity enhancing methods, that is timing, quantity of superplasticizer to be added, mixing time and method. Management of time until completion of placement, taking into account slump retention time after plasticization and noise control so that quality requirements for concrete can be met. Chemical admixtures. Let me see time on this. I think it's time now. Okay, let me see a few minutes more. Chemical admixtures added to concrete before plasticization may not go well. Chemical admixtures added to concrete. Just a minute, please. You can read this meanwhile. Just a minute. Just can read meanwhile. Like in 1 minute only. Just please. Chemical admixtures added to concrete before plasticizing. Plasticize may not go well with plasticizers. Please, chemical admixtures added to concrete before plasticization may not go well with plasticizers, and there may be adverse effects on their respective effects. Undesirable combinations, therefore, need be identified in advance. Amount of increase in slump need be kept within range that doesn't cause segregation of plasticized concrete. As a general rule, therefore, amount of increase in slump shall not exceed 10 cm and 5 cm to 8 cm shall be regarded as standard value. Post-plasticization slump varies widely depending on pre-plasticization quality of concrete, type and doses of superplasticizers, concrete temperature, etc. Because slump retention time may become shorter, time until completion of placement should be managed by checking in advance on slump retention time. Reflowing of plasticized concrete may generate segregation or delay of setting time of concrete due to an oversupply of plasticizer and consequently have a bad influence on performance of hardened concrete such as durability, strength in long term and so on. Therefore, reflowing should be avoided in plasticized concrete. Therefore, there are also many other considerations such as methods of adding plasticizers, noise due to high speed rotation of truck agitators, and exhaust gas control when using plasticized concrete. That is important, and we have to say undesirable combinations therefore need be identified in advance. Amount of increase in slump need be kept within range that doesn't cause segregation of plasticized concrete. As a rule, therefore, amount of increase in slump shall not exceed 100 mm, 5 to 800 mm, 50 to 80 mm shall be regarded as standard values. For plasticization, slump varies widely depending on pre-plasticization quality of concrete, type and doses of plasticizers, concrete temperature. Because slump retention time may become shorter, time until completion of placement shall be managed by checking in advance. Reflowing of plasticized concrete may generate segregation or delay of setting time of concrete due to an oversupply of plasticizer and consequently having bad influence on performance of hardened concrete such as durability, strength in long term and so on. Therefore, reflowing should be avoided in plasticized concrete. There are many other considerations such as methods of adding plasticizers, noise due to high speed rotation of truck agitators, and exhaust gas control when using plasticized concrete. Recommended practice for concrete containing plasticizers should be considered in advance. Ready mix concrete, we'll go to discuss about this now. And meanwhile, I think we have to close down also. It's enough for long.